Hey, good morning, everybody. I want to thank everyone for hopping on with us. And I want to welcome our speakers today. We have Chad Timmons and Jamie Woolard from Remarkable, and they're going to be giving a
Morning.
presentation on taking control of your material. So, this presentation is being recorded and will be placed on the chapter's website afterwards. You all do have the ability to unmute yourself. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to do so or use the chat feature, and then I'll direct the questions to Jamie. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Jamie and Chad. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. Hey, all. I want to thank everybody. My name's Chad Timmons. I'm Channel Development Manager here at Remarkable, and I have Jamie Wallard, who is our account executive here at Remarkable. So I'll be turning it over to Jamie here in a few seconds here, but just wanted to welcome everybody. Thank you for attending the Take Control of Your Material session. We're hopeful and hope that you guys will be able to take away from this just practical ways how to improve your material management, reduce delays, and then keep your projects running efficiently. And if you have questions, you can just put them in the chat feature. We will be monitoring that. But look forward to the presentation. So with that being said, Jamie, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Chad. Appreciate it, sir. Yep. Nice to meet everybody. I'm Jamie Wallard from Remarkable. Been here for about a year and a half now. I am managing the Northeast territory for Remarkable, and I actually live just outside of the King of Prussia area here, so I'm pretty local to a majority of the folks that are here. So again, appreciate you guys giving us your time. I know you guys are busy. I don't want to bore you to death. I'm going to walk through the presentation here in terms of, some of the typical problems that you all might have in the industry when it comes to managing your materials, your tools, your inventory. I could even talk about prefab if that kind of comes up in the conversation. So just kind of, what issues are out there and how those issues are being solved with technology. So kind of walk through some of the minor things that are going on, and then I'll spend some time at least showing you folks how remarkable in terms of a procurement platform is managing some of those issues for you. It's just the same as some other software that's out there. So again, appreciate you guys being on here. Going to share my screen in a minute. And as Robin said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to interrupt me at any time. Promise I won't get insulted. Chad, can you see my window here, sir?
I can, yes. Yep,
Perfect.
you're
Thank you,
good.
sir. All right. So
Mhm.
taking control of your material, right? That could be a whole host of other things, right? It's a matter of, how do you guys communicate material needs from the field? How do your purchasing teams, if you have purchasing teams, some folks don't, right? You either have field guys or maybe purchasing direct from vendors. Maybe you have, centralized purchasing platforms where your guys are purchasing direct from the vendors in that regard. We'll help you guys clear up a lot of the communication issues and the back and forth that typically are presented in that way. So remarkable. We're construction software based out of Omaha, Nebraska. Been in the industry now for about 8 years. And our primary goal again is to help electrical contractors with regards to how they procure materials, tools, for their organizations. The majority of the people working at Remarkable, about 90%, have come from the contracting industry. Makes us a bit unique because we literally are a platform built by contractors for contractors. And we'll talk about how we're helping you guys. So material management, right? It seems like a minor thing, but it causes an awful lot of problems, right? The typical process for your organizations, as you guys can see here, is the field requesting materials, right? And then you guys are reviewing what needs to be acquired, right? Now that could be again the field making those decisions themselves in terms of foreman, general foreman, passing that information up to project managers or superintendents. How does it normally communicate? Probably not a lot of different than I was doing it 30 years ago. I know people are still writing stuff down on pizza boxes and cardboard boxes, right? Now we have technology. So now they're taking photos of what they're written down on pizza boxes and they're texting it to somebody, right? That's what, a typical modern procurement platform might look like for the majority of the contractors that we have. And then from there, you're sending that information to a supplier. And that generally involves a lot of back and forth, right? What your handwriting stinks? I don't know what this is. Are you sure you want a half inch, not 3/4? Do you want zinc? Do you want copper? It's all those miscommunications and back and forth that takes up a lot of time. And that's where we start helping out contractors. And that's really where we came from. Our founder was working at Southwire for a number of years on the technology side, and he saw that we were still using processes from 30 years ago to operate in the 21st century, right? So he came up with remarkable. So how do we clean up how those materials are ordered? How do you get those confirmations? How do you track your shipments? How do you receive your materials? And how do you make sure that what you're being invoiced for has actually been received and is on the job site? That's kind of what Remarkable tries to take care of. So those different systems that we're talking about, right? Phone calls, emails, text messages, carrier pigeon, smoke signals, whatever it is that you folks might typically use, spreadsheets, Google Sheets, right? Handwritten PDFs, multiple files on desktop somewhere. These are how the majority of the contractors that we speak with on a daily basis are managing materials today. So I went too far. Some of the challenges that we hear most frequently, right? Manual processes, as I'm talking about, typing out POs, line items, invoicing by hand, double entry between systems, right? Order visibility. Where's my stuff? Once you get past the issue of how does the field communicate what they need, first question I have after that is, where's my material? Right? That's a big problem you folks have. It's making sure that you have material for the guys that are on the job and making sure you have guys on the job when you have material, right? It's managing all of those things. The double buying, the hold for release. A lot of people are in next day purchasing processes, right? That's not a problem, but what happens is sometimes you get involved in that panic buying, if you will, because you have work that needs to get done. You have guys on site, but you don't have any material. Now you're not confirming what you already have bought. So now you're double buying, right? Those hold for release, the long lead items, the gear and lighting, right? How do you make sure that what you're requesting today, you haven't already purchased last week or last month? Without that visibility, you're going to end up with those types of issues. Invoice discrepancies, the price mismatches, the quantity overages, the items added after the PO. Because you're not managing things on the front end, now your AP teams are struggling and your superintendents to make sure that what you're being invoiced for, you guys have actually already received. Job cost visibility, right? Don't know what your actual material costs are. Because you're controlling the process on the front end, you have a bigger opportunity to now make sure that what you actually estimated for that project is where you actually are in material purchases. Right, the fragmented comps, the text messages, emails, photos, sticky notes, all the things that we already talked about. Your ERP integration. And there's platforms out there that are integrating with your accounting platforms. We're sitting in between the field and the ERP platforms. Otherwise, you're entering information in one place, and now you're entering information in another place, which allows for errors as well, obviously. Field adoption, making sure that it's easy. Remarkable is Amazon ordering for electrical contractors. We can all say that we, do or don't use Amazon, but we all know that we do. It's too stinking easy to have stuff show up on your doorstep at 5 a.m. in the morning, right? Mine's like Christmas every day. I got boxes that come 4 times a day. I don't even know what's in them half the time. But making it that easy to order and request materials is going to put time back in your guys' pockets in the field so they can spend more time being productive than more time trying to figure out what it is that they ordered. Supplier pricing, right? And these days, you guys are relying on the relationships that you have with the Coopers and the Turtle and Hughes and the Gray Bars and all of those folks to make sure that they're honoring the prices that you folks have already agreed on, right? The SPA agreements, the hold for lease orders, tracking all of these things and sort of putting people on an honor system to make sure that what you're requesting, you're paying what you agreed upon price, and that's what you're actually getting invoiced for as well. So, right, contractors, profitability, saving time. Those are the things that procurement platforms can actually help you folks with, right? 40% typically for the guys in the field, we're going to help them get back in their pockets instead of trying to figure out what I need, when I need it, how much does it cost? Are you sure this is what you need? All of those things. So freeing you guys up from data entry in the field, freeing you up from miscommunication conversations, field knows, every order is without having to pick up the phone. Because again, as I mentioned before, once you get past what I ordered, then it becomes when is it coming in? Right? Things get back ordered, things show up damaged, they're missing, and then you have to resolve it and you're starting the process all over again. Your material spend, right? Pricing and availability from the suppliers as you buy, making sure that what you're quoted is what you're actually paying for. And again, typically, procurement platforms out there are saving you folks about 1 to 3% on your overall annual spend. And when you guys are looking at 1-2% profit margins on your projects. That 1 to 3% of material spend is a huge, huge number by the end of the year. Operational control. I was having a conversation earlier with Rob, and we all know that in your industry right now, because of data centers and all these other larger projects that are coming up, you guys have a problem that didn't exist when I started out 30 years ago, which is I have more work than I have people. We used to have more people than work. Now it's the other way around. So how can we help you guys scale without actually having to add headcount? We do that by making you guys more efficient, right? Field, office, suppliers, everybody is working together. Those approvals, inventory, tools, and the bulk buys, they're all coordinated. Again, if we can save you guys 10, 20, 30% in the offices in the field, you guys are going to be able to operate much more efficiently and not have to worry about doing what we did back in the day, which is just throwing bodies at it. That was a typical correction for the problem. So that being said, in comes Remarkable and other construction management platforms that are out there that are trying to help you folks manage your procurement for tools, inventory, and materials. Remarkable, we're built for the field. As I said before, 90% of the people working at Remarkable have come from the contracting industry, right? So you guys should have it being as easy as going on to Amazon, seeing what it is they're trying to order, popping it into a cart, it, sending it off to whoever makes those purchasing needs, and then move on with their day. That's what we're doing here in Remarkable. We have a catalog of materials that's about 500,000 plus parts right now, and that allows you guys to see exact manufacturer specs, pictures of what they're trying to order. And again, just make it as easy as possible. That open ecosystem, right? Every supplier, every order, every invoice is connected. We have supplier relationships all across the country. Yes, 500 plus suppliers in running right now, and all the local branches that trickle down to you guys, right? The Turtles and Hughes and the Maurices and the Gray Bars and the Coopers, and all of these folks are working with Remarkable. Because of that, we're now seeing your pricing, we're seeing their availability, and you're being able to get that in real time. And then you're also being able to have the ability to track all those statuses in real time as those orders are moving through those particular systems. Fully configurable. Remarkable is not a cookie cutter operation by any stretch of the imagination. We have contractors that are $3 million. We have contractors that are $1 billion plus on Remarkable right now. We currently have 50% just about of the top 50 electrical contractors in the country right now. We do that because we have upfront conversations to understand what your processes and your workflows are. And then we go through the process of taking Remarkable and wrapping it around what those processes and workflows are. And that's for today. That's for 3 years. That's for 5 years. That's for 10 years down the road. We're going to morph. We're going to move. We're going to go and develop and grow with you guys as you want to grow. So again, we're built by people who have actually done the work. 40% of the top 100 right now are on Remarkable. We've got over 25 plus ERP systems, the foundations and all the Trimble guys and the coins. They're all currently integrated with Remarkable right now to make it easy for your AP teams to understand what's going on in the field, and the field to easily communicate that back upstream to the ERP guys. Again, 70 plus years combined teams experience here. And as I said, 500 plus suppliers across the country. So that's kind of a 10,000 foot overview of how material management is kind of functioning today, and kind of maybe how Remarkable starts to help you guys with that. So that being said, I'm going to flip over here and I'll walk through a high level demo of how Remarkable, as an example, helps you folks out with procurement management. And again, I know Rob and Chad, you guys are managing some questions out there. So as we go through this, please feel free to hop on and do that. So Remarkable, we want to make sure that we can give visibility to everybody in your firm that needs that, whether they're working in the field, whether they're in the office, whether they're AP, project manager, superintendent, or executives across the board. I want to give you folks a single source of truth, one place to go to understand all the different facets of your orders, whether actual requests, the actual quotes, the costs, the shipping updates, all of these things. I want to give you guys one place to go to get that information. And that's what a typical dashboard would look like here. Inside of Remarkable. Because we're integrated with your ERP systems, we're pulling in all of your relevant project information. And that's important, right? I don't want you to have to create a project in, let's say, Foundations, and then turn around and create that same project inside of Remarkable, right? That's taking up too much time rather. And that's creating room for error. And we want to cut down on that double entry, right? The more times you have to enter in information, the more times information is lost. So we're going to give you that one place to go to. So we're going to have your project set up in Remarkable, tax information, warehouse locations, shipping up, locations, who's working on the project, what can they do, what suppliers do you have on that particular project. Once you get that set up, excellent. Now it's time to make sure you guys can actually request material. I talked about Amazon. So if you guys can see my screen now, not only do we have those supplier relationships, we have a catalog of 500,000 plus parts. Our engineers have gone through and cross-referenced all of those parts, manufacturer IDs to make sure that there isn't any miscommunication again on what you folks are trying to order, and we put it into categories. Because we all know contractors, even myself, if you ask me to spell Milwaukee, 10 times out of 10, probably can't do it. Maybe I'll get it 5 out of 10, something like that, right? So certain things like nicknames in the industry, okay? We can make sure that we can cross-reference what your guys in the field are calling stuff, right? That's number one. You can have a guy's been in the field for 20 years, doesn't know what it's supposed to be called, only knows what he calls it. And now in the industry, we're finding that more of our contractors are bringing on purchasing people, if you have those, that don't come from the industry. So they have no idea what they're talking about, right? So with that, we can upload a lot of your nicknames in here and cross-reference that. I promise this isn't going to be weird, and I'm putting in chicken lips, but it's a nickname that I came across when I was working at Remarkable here. It's Andy Short Bushings, right? It's nothing weird, but it's things like that. They're going to help save time for your folks when they can use nicknames that they're calling things and find those in Remarkable. Like, you're looking for, transformers. Great. Just a generic term, going to start automatically populating with all the different levels and types of transformers that we have inside of Remarkable. They want to search by actual UPCs, part numbers, things like that. You can do that inside of Remarkable as well. So throwing material in a cart. First thing we're going to help you guys with is, what have you already purchased? Right? Could be gear and lighting orders, could be upfront buys. Some people do an 80-20 when they want to lock in cost for a particular project. Long lead items, hold for releases, VMI. Biggest struggle contractors have is they don't know what's on that. Tracking it in a Google sheet, an Excel sheet, or you're relying on your vendor to let you guys know what's going on. Here we're giving you upfront visibility. I'm looking for conduit. Great. I can automatically see what hold for release orders I already have for conduit. So I'm not double buying and I'm not over ordering. And it's just a simple matter of saying, oh, you know what? I want 1,000 feet of that pulled from that hold for release order, and we're going to put it into my cart, a la Amazon. What other stuff do I need for my particular project? EMT conduit 1/2 inch. I don't want to have your contractor spending any more time working in this than they need to. Because again, as I said, it's about putting time back in their pocket, not less. Oh, I all know what favorites are. So if you have a guy working in the field and he's only ordering 20, 30, 40 things, fantastic. He can create his own favorites list inside of Remarkable to help speed up communicating what it is that he need to the folks that are in the office, as it were. Maybe I need some fittings. Again, hold for release comes up first. Let's toss a couple of these guys into my card here. Supplier relationships. Because we're connected with the suppliers, we're pulling in your price files, your SPA agreements. So the first thing you're going to see is what vendors that you have that are assigned to this project, who has it, how much it costs, and when am I going to get it, right? I need 100 of these. Excellent. Going to toss those into the cart. It's an AI-backed platform. It's going to help you guys searching for stuff easier. It's going to help you guys associate different products that you already have in your cart with other things that you might typically order in terms of that as well. I've got conduit. I've got some connectors. That's fantastic. I probably need some straps. It's also going to associate that with the size of the parts that you folks already have in your cart. Phase codes, cost codes, biggest time saver we have for out there for both verification, meeting the specs on your projects, the BABA projects, the Buy America, Made in America, things like that. And your submittals. Sounds like a little thing, but it's a big issue for a lot of the folks out there. Because we already have all of these parts in Remarkable, we also already have all the cut sheets inside of Remarkable as well, which means you're going to be able to pull up a spec sheet with the exact part that you're looking for. We've already highlighted that. We can cross-reference an entire bill of materials and have you folks export that out in PDFs in a matter of minutes instead of a matter of hours that you guys typically have to go through in terms of the overall specs that we have here. Again, I'm just going to keep tossing some stuff into the cart. Phase codes and cost codes. Those things get lost in the sauce. Sometimes they have to be put in afterwards. Your superintendents are going through, project managers, and making sure that the proper cost codes and phase codes are associated with parts. You can have those, again, uploaded on the front end with the integration from your ERP systems, so they could automatically be defaulted and flow in here with the parts that you have in your cart. Different lists. You guys want to track your bill of materials? You want to track your estimates? Great. You could bring your projects in and material lists inside of Remarkable via export CSV or Excel very easily, and now be able to track all those in real time. Those Babel lists that we're talking about, if you need to make sure that you're locking down specific spec parts on a project, they can simply bring in as many lists as you need in order to make sure that they're only pulling materials off of those lists. And again, putting them in the cart just the same as anything else. We're also tracking the burn rate on those. So yes, I can make sure that I'm only ordering the materials that I need for that project, but we're also tracking that burn rate. Again, it goes back to actuals versus estimates inside of Remarkable. I know I'm going through this. I'm trying to give you guys a high level, so I apologize if I'm flying through this a bit too fast. Rentals. That's another small thing that becomes a big problem. Why? Because you guys don't have an idea generally where all your rentals are on all of your projects. From there, what's the next problem? Where are my rental call offs, right? When are they actually due? Remarkable can track those for you guys in real time. You can order your rentals, Herc, United, Sunbelt as well. So just as easily as order material, you can order your rentals inside of Remarkable. But now we're tracking them. Rental start dates, rental end dates. That's pretty good. Can I call it off in Remarkable? Absolutely. Set the date that you want to have that called off. It'll communicate that to the vendor through Remarkable, and then you're going to be able to track that. But more importantly, we can send you folks alerts when those rental call off dates are due. 7 days in advance is a standard, or you can run a report in Remarkable for your rentals, have it show up in your email box every day at 8 a.m. or every Monday at 8 a.m. to see what all the rental call offs that you have moving forward. Again, it's about being more proactive instead of reactive inside of Remarkable. Your hold for releases. The VMI orders, again, what did I already buy up front? Where is it? How much did I pay for it? Where's that PO? And how many do I have left on hand? As an example, I'll look at Shepherd over here. These are custom items in here. Typically, gear and lighting is something that you folks are ordering off of Excel, CSV, or PDFs, or spec sheets, or that you're sending out to the vendors. And then they're kicking back lump sum orders. From there, that's great in terms of the cost. It makes it easy, but it doesn't make it easy to track those long lead items. Next thing is the shipping updates. Because you have those inside of Remarkable, I'll even get down to a list of other items that we currently have. Again, now you can go back to that original hold for release order, and you can start tracking the actual quantities just the same as you would anything else here inside of Remarkable. Spools are right here. Another typical problem that we have is, how do I communicate what wire I need on my job site as well, right? First of all, is the material. Is it copper? Is it zinc? Is it aluminum? Whatever it is, great. I need copper. Cable length. So we have this wire ordering module inside of Remarkable. Parallels, 4, layer tags, pulling heads. Not everybody uses them, but it's a simple click on a box and not. The next biggest issue with getting wire on your job site is, what color are the wires? Those color combinations get mixed up all the time. Some guys don't want to bother to deal with it, so they just order black. And then when it comes on the job site, then you're tagging all of those and labeling yourself, which is great, but it's another time suck on the job site when you can have this taken care of up front. Simple matter of just going through and choosing whatever color combinations that you folks need with the module here inside of Remarkable. And I probably need a ground over here. What size do you need, right? Wire tags. Want to set up the color combinations. Who is it coming from? How do you want it to have it show up on the job site? Is it barrels? Is it A-frames? Is it the sim reels? You guys choose that, and it's going to start calculating the overall weight and length for you guys, so you know what kind of individuals and what kind of equipment you folks need on the other end when it comes time to receive materials. Pop that in your cart just the same as anything else. Then it's just a simple matter for you guys in the field. Do I need to send this to a field leader for approval? Do I need to send this to my purchasing person, or do I have the ability to send this order direct to the supplier? This is where the power of Remarkable comes in, right? It's easy to communicate what you need, And then from there, it's easy for you folks in the office to make those business buying decisions. I can see all of my suppliers lined up side by side. Who has it, how much it costs, and when can I get it? What's your priority? Is your priority getting it tomorrow? Is it less trucks, or is it better pricing? For most folks, they end up doing quoting, which is great, but you're emailing it, you're texting it, you're making phone calls, and you're following up on that. Because you can see your supplier pricing side by side, you can now scroll down here, and it's a de facto quoting system for you folks as well. Because in real time, you can see exactly what the better price would be for this. You can choose that one supplier across the board. I don't need to choose this one because I already have it. Warehousing. If you folks have warehouses, if you have Connex boxes on site that you're tracking quantity materials, or in your own warehouses as well, you could load those inventories into Remarkable. So again, you're stopping the double buying. If you already have it, you've already purchased it, you want to be able to utilize it and have it shipped to your job site from your warehouse, you can have that stock availability here inside of Remarkable as well. And then from there, it's just a simple matter of probably communicating when you need your stuff. That's pretty good. And then placing that order, sending it out to your vendors. What did I do? Because we're connected with your suppliers, this system is now creating POs in Remarkable, communicating those orders to your suppliers digitally through the back end of their systems. Your inside sales guys at your individual branches are still working with you. They're just now receiving your orders electronically. Now they can see in real time what it is that you folks are looking for, and then they can start communicating those acknowledgments and then taking it through the process from there. And that is where, on my projects, I talked about visibility. You folks can see all of your orders in real time, all of those statuses, what's pending, what's been submitted, what's been back ordered, what's been received. These are things that you'll have to do right now through phone calls, text messages, and emails, and platforms like Remarkable out there are giving you folks this, again, that full visibility in real time. That's my submitted order. This is your single source of truth, right? This is the job. This is the location. This is who requested it, who submitted it, and where is it right now. So they are kicking back acknowledgments to you folks in real time in terms of what you requested versus what you should be expecting on your job sites. It's a communication tool. Now everybody involved on the project is going to get an email with a link. That link is going to take you folks into this purchase order. So now you can see everything that's going on this particular job. All right, if I hit compare, once I get that acknowledgement, I can see my purchase order and my sales order acknowledged in real time. Not once you get the invoice. What I requested, what quantity, how much am I paying for it? And then from there, it's a simple matter of getting your shipping updates. That's why even though you're looking to request maybe lump sum pricing, you're getting line item detail back because we're giving you line item expectations of when that equipment is supposed to show up on the job site. The original requisition, any quoting, the PO. Remember, single source of truth, not multiple places to go to for this particular information in that regard. And again, you can communicate directly with your vendor as well as with your internal teams. They're Remarkable. And as I said, you're getting those real-time updates in the platform. So we're making it easier for you folks to communicate what you need, easier to understand how much you're going to pay for it, when you should be receiving it. Receiving it on the other end is very easy to do inside of Remarkable as well in terms of just going ahead and doing that through the platform. I think I'm going to pause there. There's a lot going on. There's a lot more left, but again, I just kind of wanted to hit the highlights real quick. Does anybody have any questions? I know this was a power 30 and I'm at a power 28 minutes right now, so I'm going to shut myself up. Any questions from anybody or Rob?
Yeah, thanks, Jamie. You can give you a second to take a breath. Everybody does have the ability to unmute yourself. There aren't any questions in the chat feature, but you can use that as well. So we'll leave it open for a couple minutes to see if anyone has any questions.
Don't be shy. You guys are contractors. I know if something looks like it's shady, you guys talk. So if you have something, I want to hear it.
Hey, good morning. This is Joe Gibbons with Hassel and Bueller.
Hey, Joe.
I just had a question about when you were going over when you were entering in the reels and stuff. If I build a bill of materials or build reels in the Southwire configurator, can I import that stuff into Remarkable, or do I have to enter it manually?
So that's a good question. In terms of the Southwire tool, that one, or Southwire is one of the vendors that we have. You could probably duplicate that inside of Remarkable, or if you could take what you have in Southwire, and either export that into a PDF or an Excel, you can then punch that into Remarkable. We don't currently have a pass through from their wire configurator into Remarkable. It's sort of an either or situation in that regard.
Okay.
It's a good question,
Thank
though.
you.
You're welcome.
Jamie, do you have a slide with your contact information?
I do. I do. Oops. I bet I would if I didn't go too stinking far.
And would you be the contact for any questions?
Yeah, 100%. I'd be the direct contact for any of the questions, Rob. Thank you. Whatever I don't know, I have plenty of resources inside of Remarkable. I'm more than happy to reach out and get that information for you folks. Thank you.
Perfect. Hearing no other questions, we're gonna wrap up right now at 9:30. I really appreciate Jamie and Chad's time, and you guys were prompt right on 30 minutes, so thank you for that. This is being recorded and will be on the chapter's website, so you guys can reference this if you'd like. I want to give a notice about our upcoming Industry 30 in May. We have our new associate member, Cornav, presenting on your AI electrical foreman. So I hope you all can hop on and see that new app and new technology, and we're excited to have them. So please join us in May. That being said, everybody enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thank you.
Appreciate your time, everybody.
Thanks, all.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good night.